So happy it's Friday again.
Oh, gosh. Me too. I was telling Denny's, I think 4-day weeks kick my ass worse than 5-day weeks.
What?
It's weird. I don't know. It's almost like a weird psychology. Denny's agreed with me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, 4-day weeks seem longer than 5-day weeks.
It did seem like a long 4 days, but yeah, thank God. Like I just, oh man, if I were like, oh, I got to dial up one more.
It's almost like when you go into a 5-day week, you're prepared for the grit and the toughness. 4-day weeks make you a little soft. You kind of go in there soft. Subconsciously, I think I go in
Don't
soft.
have the eye of the tiger.
Yeah, I just think I'm a bit of a pussy. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody around here says that a lot, actually.
In fact, you guys were talking about this today during the commercial break.
You're a giant vagina.
Yep. Well, this is the after the show. That's your one quick warning that there is no restrictions on any of the language from here on out on the show and the podcast. Yesterday, for instance, we were talking about dick suits, force suits.
Yeah, we were.
And Virginia actually found one online. They do already make suits that you can put on somebody's dick.
They do. It was $60, so I think I'm gonna make
Really?
my own. Yeah, they want $60 for a dick suit.
Crazy. You just
It's
put a
a-
bow tie on that damn thing.
It's just a little tiny little shaft piece that just snugly fits over your wang, and they want $60. I'm like, well, y'all can suck it.
Yeah.
I will
Right.
make one, and it will look just as cute.
Here's my question. When you were doing the thing at Double D's, because we only have, I guess, 4 or 5 minutes to do our routine, I would like
No, I mean, you guys have as long as you want.
Okay.
I said 5 minutes because I think that, you guys aren't professional dancers.
Well, here was my idea, and tell me how you feel about this, Kev. Mm-hmm. What if we all had our own individual signature song, so you all get to shine, and then we all do a collective dance? Or is that just too much dancing? Is that too much?
Here's the problem with single moments. They better be amazing.
Look, I get it.
If you have just the spotlight on you as a solo dancer, I've learned this from watching the guys at Double D's, because some of them aren't amazing and some of them are. When the guys that aren't amazing have the spotlight on them and it's just them,
Yeah.
Would it be
it's
better?
a tune out.
Would it
Yeah.
be better if it was something like this? Where it was
All of you together keeps everything like...
Yeah, I think you can come out and vamp for a second, but yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't- Yeah.
You can have like a drummer would do a 30-second solo.
Yeah, so maybe we all have, it's almost like a 5-minute montage of all different songs.
Love
Kind
it.
of do your thing, but yeah, you get like 30 seconds to shine, but we all come back collectively. Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
trying
like
to
you
figure
kind of
out.
like if you ever seen a rock concert, it'd be going, and on drums. Blah, 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 blah.
And I'm big balls. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Big balls, tiny drumstick.
Damn. You're a manager. If they're supposed to pump us up. Are
Sorry.
you breaking me down to build me back up? Is that what's going on?
Yes. You're hung like a horse.
Damn, she gave it a lie good.
Yeah, so we'll continue working on that. Do you have any other ideas on...
Well, do you want to... I think we all should have a little bit of a theme song. Like the Bronx should be able to do 30 seconds of a song he feels sexy. He identifies with, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is a 5-minute montage of different song. The Bronx song comes on, we all dance to it, but then he does a little 30-second shuffle, whatever he does, and then it goes on to the next song.
You have to pick a song that's familiar. That's the thing. It's got to be a major hit, and it's got to be banging and sexy.
Kevin does his song.
But it's got to be something that you personally love and you get into. Case in point, the other night at Double D's, the one chocolate daddy who was the best dancer and had the best vibe, they had him up there doing a Grease number, and I could tell his heart wasn't in it. And then they had him up there doing Pony by Genuine.
Yeah.
And he turned that shit
Okay,
out.
let's say Kevin.
He was in it.
Kevin gets his song. It's like 30 seconds, a minute long. Whatever song you get, then we come back, hit him with a little Pony or whatever song.
Whatever song you pick.
Then it comes back with Denny's song. Then it comes with Suit's song, and then we just fucking full Monty it the last minute.
I love it.
I don't know, Coach.
A montage works well.
I think a montage is the way to go.
A montage works really well, but it's going to require a little bit of practice time. You guys are going to have to get in the dance studio and make sure that you got the moves.
We can practice the Sasquatch recordings.
This space isn't big enough.
No, on my patio, that's just as big as the stage is going to be.
An air-conditioned dance studio. I'll get you an air-conditioned dance studio.
This isn't gonna work. I'm telling you, it's got to be turnkey for Kevin. It can't be out in Lake Worth. It's got to be where Kevin literally has to turn his key and falls into my courtyard or falls into a. It's got to be so turnkey for this guy.
It's gonna be sweaty on that courtyard. And I don't want to dance on the courtyard.
No, that's how we practice. A little sweat, a little blood, little tears. Put it to the grind.
Who's
baby.
crying?
Oh, you're gonna be crying. Oh, you're gonna be crying.
When you see his outfit.
You're gonna be crying.
But when you see Suits in that dick suit.
We're gonna push you to your limits,
Oh,
Brock.
that Dixie's gonna be great. Okay.
I'm
I'll
just
continue working on that.
I'm just letting you know what I know. What kind of players I got. I know how we have to work it.
What if I can find a close dance studio?
All right, you can find that unicorn.
Listen to this email from Jared. He said, I've been crushing on Virginia forever, and I took it really hard when she backed out of the one-finger selfie challenge because she had, quote, too much going on as far as boobs and belly, her words. Well, now that she has resolved both of those issues with the lift and the tuck she recently got, I think that it's only fair that we who have been drooling over Queen V since the wild days that she go ahead and do the one-finger selfie challenge. If she declines, I'll be happy with either the uncensored photos she sent Ann or her before-after pics of the lift. No disrespect, Panda, your wife is hot.
Signed who?
Jared.
Jared, okay.
Mm-hmm.
In prison.
I've got another guy that gives me a really hard time on Twitter, so I didn't know if it was him.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one that sends you a peen pic?
Yes. He wants boob pics so bad.
And that's,
Peen pics,
and
huh?
that's how you get boob pics. Send your dong to a chick you've never met. She'll melt.
She'll melt.
I was being sarcastic.
Today, too, it's going to be interesting. They had sent out a memo to the company here just a second ago saying, hey, we know your kids are going to be on vacation. We love having kids here for Take Your Kids to Work Day, but can't use this as a daycare. So if you've got a situation where, you got to be home with the kids, use one of your personal days off, kind of like thing.
Damn, they shut that shit down.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're like, hey, look, we need you here and focused. We know what it's like having kids.
They know it's radio. It's not a real job, right?
Yeah, I think it was to all departments, so that probably includes, your sales, promotions, all that stuff.
Was that sent from internal or corporate?
That sounds
I
like
think it's
corporate.
internal.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems corporate to me.
Yeah, no, it's inside.
I didn't realize the people in this building hated children.
It sucks. Because there's some people that just gave birth.
They flowered it up.
Yeah.
About like, oh, we love them, they're adorable, and
I think you
I'll
would
bring
be,
in my granddaughter.
We love them, but not that much.
I think that'd be cool if you did it. I think it's coming from internal, but it's coming from corporate. They're pushing it down.
Okay, think so? Maybe.
Yeah, because there's always kids around here. No one's ever had issues. It's like romper room in the kitchen area.
Well, how do you know nobody had issues? You might have seen the kids, and they might have had issues.
I don't know.
What about that one kid that was really mean to you?
And I'm not even. I mean, and I say welcome the kid back in. I don't give a shit. It's fun to talk about.
That was pretty funny. This one kid was just giving Jaybird just a gang of shit.
I don't know why. I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? Do you like Bigfoot? Bigfoot's stupid. You believe in stupid stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll walk out of the room.
The kid just gave it to him.
Hey,
You believe in stupid stuff.
you know, maybe they're right. No kids allowed.
So I'll try to figure out what to do with Cannon. He's going to be on break. I got a couple things we're going to throw at him this summer. But yeah, it's a challenge.
Would you ever
What's
allow?
he doing? I mean, yeah. What?
I think he's doing like 1 week. He's got like football camp he's going to. He's got another thing. But yeah, not a lot. I mean, there's going to be a lot of open time. So
You should take him.
got to figure it out this weekend.
This would be a good time if you've got time. If any kind of WWE stuff comes down to South Florida, or you could even take him
Yeah,
up to
SummerSlam
Orlando.
is. He's going to that.
Oh, he is.
And yeah, it's another week, 2 weeks away. SummerSlam going to be at the BB&T Center.
No way. That's you're gonna go.
No, he's going to go with his older brother.
Okay.
And a friend. Yeah,
That'll
my
be
parents
so
are in town.
fun.
Yeah. So yeah, SummerSlam is going to be there.
Nice.
I bet he's so excited.
Oh, he's so pumped. Yeah.
I'm getting them old school rubber toys, the wrestling toys from the '80s this weekend for him.
Okay. Oh, hell, I'll do
Because he
it.
doesn't listen to the podcast. I hope he's not listening to the podcast.
No. Good Lord, you better not be. Yeah.
Hey, Cannon, we got something great for you.
You were mentioning something, Virginia, about one of Mags' teachers. that you had some issue with.
Do you have drama with another teacher?
No, I don't. Mags does. I've stayed out of it. I've tried to stay out of it. And because it's the end of the school year, she had me promise not to bring it up until the end of the school year when it was done.
I mean,
Mom.
the clock is counting down. Today's the last day.
Today is the last day, so now I can finally talk about this. She had this male science teacher that I just...
Oh, it's a male.
Oh, he's already a pig, Kev. I can't believe this guy has the balls to teach science and have a penis.
How dare he teach girls?
Oh, I know. What a pig.
All year long, he's been a pig. She'll ask him questions, and he's just one of those aloof, cocky jerk of a teacher kind of guys.
That's how science teachers are, though.
They can't, like, even...
They are?
Even, like...
Every science teacher I had back in the day was kind of a prick. Like, oh, no, that's amoeba, Jason.
He's even a prick to, like, the school administration. Like, they tell him, you can't do that. And he's like, I'll do whatever I want. I'm tenured. He has that thing where he's been there.
A little bit of attitude.
Very much so.
They also, too, really do love male teachers that I mean, it's not, there's not as many male teachers as they are as female teachers. So when a male teacher shows that he's interested in doing it and being a teacher, they like to hold on to him. I know you don't want to hear that.
Well, this douche lost one of Magnolia's papers that she turned in. She completed the assignment, turned it in, and he said, you never turned it in. And she's like, yes, I did. And he's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, well, I absolutely turned it in and I gave it to you. He's like, well, you have a 0. So he gave her a 0 on it, which brought her grade significantly down.
Okay.
And then he told her, well, you can redo it for partial credit if you want to. And I'm like, no. She's not redoing it for partial credit. She handed it in. You give her an appropriate grade. So I sent him an email about it. Nothing. Won't email me back.
Is it possible, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is it possible that Magnolia, she forgets a lot of stuff, and you're always in here saying, Max forgot this, Max forgot. Is it possible she thought she turned it in and did not? Because I know I've done that myself.
I specifically asked her this, and I said, Mags, explain to me what this was. And it was an in-class assignment. And I said, explain to me exactly what you did. Tell me how you filled it out. Did you put your name on the top of it? And she explained the whole thing because they turned it in at the end of the class.
Okay.
And she swears she turned it in. Meanwhile, this paper's nowhere to be found. Well, I sent him that email, and he never responded back to the email.
Okay.
And then he just gave her partial credit for it. But because it's such a low grade, it brought her down to a C. It's the only C she has. She has all A's, 1 B, and then this C.
Good thing is it's not going to ruin anything. I would just be gone with it. Just move on. It's a C. She passed. Let's move along.
It's annoying. It is so annoying.
But that's life, baby. You're always gonna run into situations where you're like, that was so fucked. And look, she passed. You got to see. I mean, you got to see in my house in science, McDonald's for a month. Good job, Jason.
Big stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Big doings. Reason to celebrate.
Yeah. I hear you. It's your daughter. She's talking shit. You don't like anyone that doesn't like her. I get it.
She said he picks favorites, which I hate that too. You know.
I also heard he's a
favorites.
107.9 fan. He loves Jennifer and Bill, and that might be it.
That's
He's
probably
a Sunny
it.
fan.
It's probably it. What kind of music does Magnolia listen to? What's her style? What's her jam?
She likes the pop hits. She likes the currents.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is she ever exposed to the old stuff? Because I was emailing back and forth with this one person who is 21 years old. This guy is, and he said, I love old school music. I love all the classics, but it's because his parents exposed him to it. They didn't listen to a lot of top 40 currently. They would always play their stuff in the background. And is it just the stuff you're exposed to that you end up liking?
I think she likes what her friends like. Magnolia is very much into Friends and social acceptance and what's the group listening to? Okay, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like with anybody, you want to kind of know the news and what's happening so you can jump into conversations and you can relate to your friends. When you listen to the same music, that's a great way to relate.
Sure.
Yeah, my daughter has got the same musical taste as all of her friends, and my son, same thing. And they listen to wildly different music. So, but you can tell, and it kind of fits in with what they do. My daughter's an athlete, plays softball, loves hip-hop. They all listen to hip hop. That's kind of it. And hip hop really rules the sports culture.
Okay.
And that, for the most part, is what you're going to hear.
And I would say probably number 2 with softball would be like that in your face kind of country. If you had the hip hop and then probably the country.
Yeah, probably some of them. In fact, I judge it on walk-up songs that I hear,
Yeah.
in the college game. And the majority of it is, you'll have that kind of like hip hop because I know because it's driving me fucking crazy. And that's the walk up. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I know, man.
I'm like, what did I just hear? What was that?
There's no melody.
Yeah, some of the girls you'll see from, and you can tell where everybody is based on their walk-up music. And then you'll hear like a little bit of Luke Bryan come up. You're
Yeah.
going, she's from Tampa. Sure enough, I look it up, and they'll be from like Auburndale. I'm like, yep, that's what I thought. And then you got, and it's like some Hispanic song. And I'm like, let me guess, that's Carol from California. Yep, she's Mexican. So, yeah, you can tell the Hispanics where they're from. Like they'll either be from Miami or they'll be from California.
See, that's so cool that they do walk-up music at that
Yeah.
age. When I played all through college, you never had a walk-up song. They never would allow it for whatever reason. In high school,
Oh, it's fun. It makes
It's
it more
so fun.
Yeah, I like it. Even the shitty rap. I'm like, okay, it's all good.
well, because it gives you a little individuality there. And then I think it does make the kids more excited to play.
It pumps
Yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
You want them pumped up when they're going to hit the ball.
Man, when I played a lot of baseball, it was so serious. There was not a lot of fun with it. It was just you got to learn, you got to be a good ball player, and there wasn't a lot of tomfoolery. It was so serious.
Yeah, no, you got to have fun with it. My daughter now, she coaches some younger teams, and is in with that, and was kind of talking about the dads. And some of the college girls are now coming down, and they're coaching younger girls. And this is really key. These dads get in there, and they played baseball. They grew up with it. And they're now coaching girls, and they're like screaming at these girls and yelling at them. And I was a softball coach, and it wasn't until the end of my softball reign that I really learned this. And it's so key, and it's such a lesson in not only the gender of the person you're talking to sometimes, but also just who you're talking to, because everybody's different, even from gender to gender.
They are.
And the one thing I had read this article from this coach. He coaches soccer at University of North Carolina. He coached the boys team and the girls team. And he won a national championship with both. And he said the biggest difference with the guys we get in there, I'm like going, all right, let's get out there. Come on, let's go.
Get your fucking cup off, man.
Come on, go. Let's go. So the guys go out there and they practice, they do their thing. Everything's great. With the girls, they come in like going, okay, you got 10 minutes. You girls can talk. Let's find out what's going on. And we're going to reconvene in about 10 minutes. Take your time. They would braid hair. They talk about their boyfriends. They talk about what's going on. But he had a different language, a different tone, a different whatever. And the communication, everything is just completely different, and they react differently. I've seen it with coaching that you can talk one way to a girl and she will completely shut down on you.
Not only, it's not just, I really don't even think it's a gender thing. When I was the head coach of a Legion team, these are teenage guys.
Yeah.
Every kid, there was some kids you could yell at and they would respond to that. And there were kids that were really sensitive and you had to talk to them different. I was never a fan of a coach addressing everyone in the same manner.
No, you're right.
You can do that for the universal message, but if you have an issue with your players or any kind of drama, you're right. Every kid or every player, even in the major leagues, they're going to be different.
Yeah.
Personality different.
Good coach, and that's a good boss too. That
A good
understands
boss.
that everyone is motivated differently, and you got to have, in a sense, a different language for every single person.
You would speak to me different than you would speak to Denny's because we're different kind of personalities.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and it really just kind of depends upon who you are.
He would speak to you more like a girl, and he would speak to Denny's like a man.
Probably so.
I would talk to Jaybird like I talk to my softball girls. Okay, ladies.
Kind of get a little hurtful in here.
Here's what we need to get to.
Jaybird, if you want, you can have 10 minutes to go talk some gossip and braid hair.
I love the braid hair. She belongs with the dudes, though. Virginia,
Oh, yeah. You just yell Virginia and be like going, come on.
What, coach? I'm
Get
here.
your shit together. Come on.
Virginia, put your fucking cup on.
You're right, sir. It really just kind of depends. Yeah, one of the next. So
I don't respond. I don't like people that are very, come on, motherfucker, let's go. Because you're right. I'm a little bit more, what the fuck is this guy yelling
And
at
see,
me?
I respond very well to that. Like
I don't like it.
Well, and I think even a trainer, my trainer is kind of like that, where he's like, "Come on, man, let's go, come on." Like I like if I were in the Army, I've got my whole family's military, so I grew up. I get that. Like that's just how I like somebody kind of let's go, come on, get your ass moving, let's go.
That
come
is
on,
how
pick it up.
all my coaches were. It's
Yeah.
just there was a certain amount of there's a type of coach that goes a little too far to where you're afraid to even breathe because I had a coach throw a baseball on purpose off of my hip. And then he called me a pussy right after. He's
That's
like,
insanity.
He's
yeah,
like, you're
That's a different level.
that's child abuse. Yeah.
well, it makes you. That's why people are shells of men when they leave. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you want to coach a great coach. That's the difference because they all know the same X's and O's for the most part. It's a coach that it's a psychologist. Somebody gets that.
I didn't get a bunt down in practice, and then so the next pitch he hits me in the hip, and then he goes, "Don't get mad at me, Penny. You're a pussy, just like everyone else. You're from Jupiter, yeah. Jupiter, they breed pussies. They breed pussies." He said it just like that.
Did he hit you in the hip or did he hit you in the pussy?
I mean,
It's stuck.
made a great split ball.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I take it back.
I don't care. I'll hit you.
Yeah, and somebody texted in said 8-year-olds today have walk-up music these days, and they do. I've seen that.
should.
Yeah, it's cute. It's fun. It makes the game more fun. I like when they do that, and the girls got to pick them. I remember when we coached, we had that because I remember I had the debate because one of the girls, and she was like one of the most quiet, she wasn't like one of those, and she came in with her walk-up music, and I started playing it, and it was AC/DC's Big Balls because we got the biggest balls of them all. I was like, can I allow this? I'm like, I don't know. And she would, so like she would come up every time I'd like kind of cringe. I'd look at the parents. I'm like, is this all right?
Yeah, I can see
We've
getting
got big
uncomfortable.
balls. I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, am I gonna have a meeting after this? Or the parents
A
gonna be
kid
angry?
comes up and let me lick you up and down. You're like, oh my gosh, who's watching this?
Yeah, the person who texts in from the 561 said my 8-year-old's walk-up music is Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Party.
That's great. No, and I think it is cool, when kids know that. My son listens a little bit, like one of his favorite groups is The Killers, and I like The Killers, so it's kind of nice, that we have that, kind of commonality. Because my daughter and I mean, there's some hip-hop. I don't want to say, like, I do like hip-hop. There's, like, some groups like Migos and stuff like that. There's a style of hip-hop I can't stand.
And I don't like it either.
It's a newer style that's out there that I'm not a fan of. Whoa, where'd that come from? Anyway, that's kind of odd.
Where did that come from?
That's weird. Is someone listening to us?
No.
I mean, other than the people that are tuning into the podcast.
No one is listening.
Denny's?
Yeah, we're good. But I thought this was kind of interesting, just trying to get kids listening to other stuff. Chance the Rapper, who's one of the greatest, hip-hop stars that's out there now, he was talking about who he wanted to collaborate with and his love for Stevie Wonder.
And then people that I haven't worked with that I would love to work with, I'm a huge fan of Stevie Wonder. I just think he's... While I'm on The View and have a huge audience, I would just like to remind people that he's the greatest living artist. And
Stevie.
given, amazing work to the world since he was born and with his disadvantages. So I just want to say he's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's right. Stevie Wonder is so awesome. And I feel like a lot of kids don't even know who Stevie Wonder is. He's a blind man who, just nails it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal what he's done. He's got some song Superstitious is a fantastic song. That's one of those songs that to me, you can put it on and it's old as hell, but it still just really kind of like cuts through. It's like, okay, there's a few songs, and it's rare to have those kind of songs. They don't sound dated. They don't sound like...
Yeah, I agree. Overjoyed by Stevie Wonder.
That's my jam.
Oh my gosh, have a couple lines in you. Oh my gosh, it's gonna hit you right in the heart, baby.
So if you had 3 artists that you'd have to tell the younger generation to listen to, who would yours be, Jay Bird?
Definitely Billy Joel, because to me, I know I always talk about him. I try not to because people get so mad, but he's just so versatile. He can do so much different shit,
Yeah.
and he's got a lot of hits. There's a lot to look at.
That's one of the criteria that I'd like to put down for the next generation could understand is so often groups like the Chainsmokers and a lot of the hip hop stuff that is happening now, these artists, there's not a ton of diversity in what they do. Drake has a little bit with some of his stuff, but
I mean, the reason why I loved Billy Joel so much was every single album was different. It was different for me. I know I'm a Billy Joel dork, but I'm always going to defend that guy.
Growing up as a kid, my dad's a huge Billy Joel fan too, and I remember the first song he really got me on was Piano Man. That was what he always said about Billy Joel. He's like, every song sounds so radically different.
He tells a story in 3 minutes. I could go on all day with my boy BJ.
Okay.
I really agree with Chance the Rapper on Stevie Wonder. If you're a kid, you've never delved into Stevie Wonder. awesome. Queen is another one.
Oh, yeah, Queen's a great one.
Amazing.
Queen
Yeah.
is the bomb.
I mean, I was thinking, would Run DMC, if a kid's only heard today's rap, and all of a sudden you play him Run DMC, are they going to be like, what the shit is this? Because it's very like this.
The samples
and
and
it's
the
very like that.
yeah.
Is that something they'd be into, or is that like the twist for us? Come on, baby, let's do the twist. It's so old.
Yeah,
and
the
dated.
sampling and things like that. I mean, there's still some sampling that happens a little bit today, but I mean, that was really the era of.
But even the style they would rap,
Yeah.
you know, ha, ha, and then we go this, and everybody knows we all love tits. It's just like it's so.
rap, hip hop today is well, some of it. I think when it's done right, it's a little bit smoother.
You think it's too dated, Run DMC for the youth?
It could be hit or miss.
Okay.
Depending.
yeah, they're
I
gonna be
agree.
like, "What is this?
Yeah,
this is old man rap."
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like old man.
My
rap.
daughter doesn't seem to take to too much of it. I think she likes what's the song that you like with JJ Fad and we're here to rock.
Supersonic.
Supersonic. I
Because
think
I
she
think
likes
they've
Yeah.
redone that a bunch of times too.
maybe, but I think that's about one of the only old school songs I think I know she likes.
I think everybody has to give themselves at least delve in and explore the Beatles catalog. It's not for everybody, and I get that, but I think everyone needs to do that at least once in their life.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a good call.
Yep.
Okay. Anything for you, Virginia, that you tell people to listen to?
The Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald.
What a fool believes.
That is some good stuff.
It is.
I love
It'd be
it.
interesting to take these two kids to see how they would react. And I guess it depends upon who you get. My son Colin, my oldest one, he'd probably be the best one. He's a little bit more open. I think my daughter, anything that's,
She's not going to be. She would not be down
No.
with the Doobie Brothers.
Definitely not the Doobie Brothers. Yeah.
But I could see Colin totally. Yeah, let's see what this is about.
It'd be interesting to run it by him to give him a chance, see which ones he would say, okay, yeah, I get it now.
Well, I'll ask because my niece I think she's 25, so she's not a kid, but she's in that millennial, and I'll play her Billy Joel stuff, and I go, why don't you like that? What is it that you don't like about it? She's, I don't know, it just sounds old to me. It just sounds dated.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. Yeah, that's it. Finding stuff that doesn't sound dated. The Doobie Brothers, I think stuff like that does sound a little dated.
A little
It
bit.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, the fact their name, the Doobie Brothers. Did anyone call pot doobies anymore? It's like a 70s
Yeah.
term.
Big part of it. Yeah. Anybody else you recommend, Virginia?
I mean, you might not agree with me on this, but this is because I grew up listening to this. This is the first concert I ever went to with my dad. The Beach Boys minus Kokomo.
You are not going to hear any complaints out of me. They are such an unbelievable band. They were doing. They don't get enough credit.
They don't.
They were doing
They're
shit.
so solid.
Oh yeah, I love the Beach Boys with Kokomo.
I take Kokomo out of the mix.
I
but
get it. It's a novelty song.
It is. It's like your Uptown Girl.
But that Brian Wilson, what a genius, man. He was doing things with melodies. And you know how in songs you'll hear like the call and response where someone says something and he was brilliant at doing that shit.
Hey, ho, hey,
Ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Yeah, nailed it. Exactly. Kevin gets
They
it.
did it better than that.
That's just improv and music, Virginia. Improvising.
Okay.
What about you, Bronk?
I would throw out a couple just for musicality because I thought, the era that I grew up and listened to music, there was something like drummers and guitar players were always that was always the battle and the debate is who is the best.
Your boy Eddie Van Halen would take guitars,
Yes.
and then he'd buy them,
Yeah.
and then he would take them apart and restructure them because he wanted a different sound than anybody.
Yeah, and he even has some songs. He would take a drill from like vroom, vroom, like that, and they have one song where he took the drill and he goes vroom, like that, and he would play that on the guitar.
Wow.
And it would create a whole different sound. Yeah.
The Beatles were good at. They would always say, use the studio as like almost the fifth member of the band, or almost like
Yeah.
they'd use shit in the studio to give them a different sound.
Yeah, and the other band that I would put into the category that I recommend for a lot of the same things, Led Zeppelin was that way. They used to, I think one of their albums they recorded in an old haunted house, and it was empty and it had different echoes, and they were taking the amplifiers from guitars and putting them up the chimney. And so they would hang them in different places just to get different ethereal sounds and things like that they would do. And then on the drumming, I would say that for John Bonham. that just his off-cadence style was so different than anything else was happening. Even today, drummers try to get it, and it's just like such a mind fuck because you're like, wait a minute, because it's offbeat, but it all works out.
He was on so many drugs. Like,
and it was amazing because it would all fall into time somehow.
Oh, no.
You would hear it, and it'd almost like you're tripping, but you're like, wait, that works. And it was just so brilliant out of the box of stuff that you just wouldn't hear. So yeah, those would be two that I would throw into probably the mix of the Beatles that they just change music.
It's a little weird though. I don't think did any of us not say one female artist? I don't think we did.
I mean, I was thinking about stuff like, Beastie Boys and Salt and Pepper, but those are too new.
No,
I'm
they're
thinking
not.
before that.
Oh, no, that too new. The Beastie Boys, 86.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I
you're
was
30
thinking,
years.
I was thinking like old school.
No, I mean, stuff you grew up with.
Everything you say is going to be old school.
Salt and Pepper, I think, really did a lot.
But would kids would they love to hear Shoop? You know what I mean? You play them Shoop or What a Man. Is an 18-year-old kid going to be, okay, I'm feeling this shit. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they got exposed to all the music that we were, it'd be kind of interesting to see like what would be in the old school top 40 that kids would be like, okay, that's what they like the most.
And that's what I wonder. Are the songs we like only the stuff you're exposed to? And they say a lot of times music, they hit it over the head with it. Even a song you don't like, you may start to like just because of repetition.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beastie Boys would definitely still be something kids could get down with. I really do.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
More so than Salt and Pepper.
Oh, definitely.
Some people sending some texts. Michael Jackson. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But I feel like
That's a great one.
I feel like Michael Jackson still is played a lot. I think kids know who that is.
I think they do a little bit. Yeah. I think they do a little bit. I saw a college softball team, and one of the girls was kind of doing like the Michael Jackson dance to grab the crotch and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, it's still relevant. They still know. I think my daughter knows some of that.
The kid grabbed the crotch on the field?
Yeah. She was out there and did the whole, yeah. That's why I got my attention. I was like,
hey.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I know ball players grab their crotch a lot. But
What about Pink Floyd?
I do not like.
I know it's too trippy for you.
I guess. You said Led Zeppelin. I've tried to like them. I want to like. I can't feel the lead, man.
Yeah.
I want the lead out of my head.
Yeah. Somebody said definitely Tupac.
Yes.
Yeah, Tupac had such a cool style. Just as I would agree. Tupac had some really great stuff that you could throw out there.
What about Biggie Smalls? Biggie Smalls?
Biggie was pretty good too. His son's now getting into the game. I haven't heard any of his stuff, but yeah, his son is up and trying to make it now.
No pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know what?
Ugh.
Well, that was obviously the big question. And he said, I'm thriving off of it. He said, it's what drives me. Because there's such a high ceiling on what I'm supposed to be putting out that it's, inspiring him to do it.
Trust me, he goes to bed every night so insecure. I'm going to fucking blow it. You have to act like you got confidence in the rap game, Kev.
Mm-hmm. Jaybird, I know you had some shirt ideas. Let's talk about some of the merchandising stuff we have and to let people know what is out there. Like slushies are for hitter shirts and stuff like that. And if people want a shirt that you see is sold out, if we get enough emails in and a little campaign saying, hey, put that back on the market, then let me know. And I'll put it back on the market because a lot of the stuff sold out because we can't carry a ton of inventory.
And I love those kind of shirts that spell out a slogan and you get it. But I'm also kind of getting into those shirts that are just symbols. And if you know the brand, you know what it means.
Yeah.
For example, if we all had to do a symbol, like Virginia's always got her mouth open in pictures. Her symbol on the shirt would be Virginia's open mouth. Yours would be your beady eyes.
Don't make mine open mouth because somebody's going to draw a dick going in it. I know it.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've gotten that?
No.
A lot.
On your photos, yeah.
Yeah, people love to draw a penis.
Mine would be hamburger hands. You see what I'm saying? They're logos with our
Well, it's
character.
kind of like we were talking about, like emojis the other day, like everybody has it. My daughter, if you look at all the entries that she's got pretty much in her contact list, I have no idea who any of them are because it's all just like 5 or 6 emojis, and she knows exactly who it is based on that.
Kevin's solid black shirt. Kevin's beady eyes, just the eyes, but it's almost like they take the face and they kind of drown out the face, so it's still his face, but it's just his eyes. Same thing with your mouth. Mine would be like hands with the hamburgers on them. I don't know. I don't know. Denny's, you got so much fun with Denny's.
Yeah, what would he be? Just a pipe?
You could probably
a smoke cloud with hair on top of it.
A smoke. That's pretty darn good. Suit clearly is easy. This suit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't like it, I'll go fuck myself.
Aw.
I thought this was a kind of an interesting story about the most interesting man in the world. You remember him, and I like him so much better than the new guy. Maybe it's just because I'm an old-fashioned guy, but when it comes to Dos Equis beer, I like the guy that had the beer and was distinguished, and there's just something about that guy.
And that guy has stories and credibility and experience.
Sit
Well,
in his
you're a fan
face.
of him. That's why you
Yeah.
love that guy.
It just, you know what, there was just something about, I think, the way they did it, and they showed younger him and then the more distinguished, and you're like, oh, wow, you would love to be that guy. I see the new guy, and I don't know if maybe the scenarios aren't the same or as good, or it's just played and it's weird to see the new guy. Maybe I'm not giving him a chance. I don't know. But I really like the guy who used to play the most interesting man of the world in the Dos Equis commercials. His real name is Jonathan Goldsmith. And now that he's not the Dos Equis guy, he's got to figure out how to make some money. So he's coming out with a memoir talking about his life. And this is maybe why it worked for him being the most interesting man in the world, because he kind of, in a sense, was. He's got some really great stories. He has been acting for a long time. You know, a lot of B-rolls and stuff like that. Nothing where he was in the forefront, but he's done stuff, and he's been in Hollywood for a while, and he's acted, and he's had, you know, things where he's actually gotten into a feud with Dustin Hoffman. They were very competitive because they were starting off at about the same time.
That's funny.
So anytime somebody was looking for kind of an off-centered Jewish character, it was between the most interesting man in the world and Dustin Hoffman.
How did it work out for him?
The most interesting man in the world, they got into a fight, and he told him, he's like going, yeah, he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm going to take all your fucking roles. You won't see any kind of work at all. And then it went the other way. And he's like, so I've been eating crow for about 50 years on that one.
I mean, arguably with one of the best actors. I mean, critically acclaimed.
But they were going at the same time. One of them was going to take off. One wasn't. One of them was going to wind up the most interesting man in the world for a Dos Equis beer commercial. The other one was going to be Dustin Hoffman. Apparently, he also had an issue with Clint Eastwood. He was in his Western Hang 'em High from 1968, famous Western. My dad loves it. But apparently on the set, he wound up fucking Clint's girlfriend, and Clint found out about it, and they've never spoken after that.
Okay, Dos Equis guy's a dick. That's why he didn't get any roles, because he's porking people's girlfriends and arguing with. Fuck the Dos Equis guy.
So he's had issues. He's had beef with Clint Eastwood, with Dustin Hoffman. He apparently also nailed Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Tina Louise said
Damn,
that
she's hot.
Said she was an unbelievable lay, so that's going to be in his memoir as well. And he also had this other game that he would do. I mean, he's been a swordsman his entire life. Apparently, he knew that Warren Beatty, who's maybe one of the most famous philanderers ever. I mean, you look at the women that he was with in the day and the era, and he started to tail off after Madonna. But I mean, while he was in Hollywood, he was just nailing everything. And apparently he used to hang out at this coffee shop inside the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, which is, if you saw Pretty Woman, that's where she was staying. And, it's right in the heart pretty much there of
Yes.
right by Rodeo Drive, if you know anything about Hollywood in that area. And so Warren Beatty would hang out in the coffee shop there, and like all the hotties in Hollywood knew all about it. So that's where all the hot chicks would go, hoping to run into Warren Beatty, because he'd wind up banging a lot of them.
Wow.
He would just go down for a cup of coffee and a chick. He'd get coffee, go upstairs, bang the girl, and then go about his merry way. So the most interesting man in the world knew this. So he would go to the same coffee shop because Warren Beatty was up in the penthouse a lot of times. So these hot women are all over this coffee shop. And apparently he would go up to some of these ladies that he knew were there for Warren Beatty, and he'd be like going, hey, are you here to see Warren? And they would be like, yeah. And he'd be like, well, they're tied up at the moment, but Warren asked me to come over and buy you a drink. He'd be like, oh, okay. And so he would move in on the chick and start talking to him, and he'd wind up banging a lot of the chicks that were there to get Warren Beatty.
I don't think I like Dos Equis guy. He is such a douche.
He is a... Yeah.
He's wondering why he doesn't get
He's a
roles
player.
because he's a cock. Well, screw that guy.
And so when is this book coming out?
It doesn't say the date on the memoir, but it's going to be out soon. In fact, I would say probably in the next couple of weeks if he's doing interviews and the promo on it right now.
He's talking about it.
Yeah, that's a little bit more about the guy who was actually the Dos Equis man.
I wonder if they will option the rights and do a movie. That'd be a fun movie.
It kind of would.
I would really enjoy it.
I think it's fascinating, if you had a guy, because what's interesting about it, he's not a star.
Right. But he tried to F with all these stars.
It would be almost like a good TV show where the main character is actually a person who's not a main character. but the side characters would be all the big A-listers from Hollywood at the time and what he did to kind of like make it through. And he's just feeding off of the spillover. He's got the scraps that's coming off and what it's like when you're the scrap guy. That's what he was. He was the scrap guy. He got the leftovers from the big studs, unless it was Clint Eastwood. He just all out banged
You
it.
have Dustin Hoffman do a cameo at the end where he's like, bah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, take that, bitch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All righty. Well, that is going to do it for us. Looking for something to do this weekend. You've got plenty of options. It's going to be going on. Want to get all those details, go to kvjshow.com. One thing you can do if it's going to be rainy especially, stop by Bud's Chicken and Seafood, do a little picnic.
7 locations all over Palm Beach County. I mean, they're everywhere, y'all.
There's no better picnic food than one of those family boxes. It is so perfect for your whole family. Everybody's going to be happy when you roll up with that.
Yeah, and I know it looks like a fast food joint. It's not. They do not make fast food. They make legit food in-house. These are the freshest ingredients.
Yeah, it's custom made. If you they don't have like it sitting there. Like if you order the shrimp, they make the shrimp right then and there. I love that about them.
Did you wind up taking your dad to Bud's?
You know, my dad wasn't feeling well yesterday. He was kind of tired, so we did not go. We're without a doubt, we're going this weekend. My dad leaves on Sunday, so we got plenty of time, baby.
Daddy, don't go.
Oh, my dad's been staying with me, and I do not want him to go. I've had such a great time with him.
That's cool.
You should start crying and then like throw a fit when he goes to leave.
I mean, I think I might anyway.
Play cats in the cradle a lot. We'll keep him around.
I like having him there, man.
Keep hiding his suitcase so he can't leave.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys have an amazing weekend. We'll hopefully see you out tomorrow. Virginia and I are going to be doing the water park stuff. I'm going to be in West Boca.
I'm going to be at Calypso Bay in Royal Palm.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see you out.
I'll be around. Just text me.
He'll be at Bud's with his dad.
Crying.
Bring your dad out to water park, you want?
Oh, my dad's part fish. He can swim.
Well, bring out the dolphin.
What happened to you?
I got my mom's side of a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
I got my mom's vagina.
All right.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.